Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada and I read tarot, and today I'm doing a reading on your yes or no questions. So this is going to be a simple reading where we look at your yes or no questions and we get the answer. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a maybe? And why that is. So we've got 6 groups here. We've got group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6. If you want to pause the video and muse over the groups, ask your question, sit on your question before you pick a group, really think about your question before you pick a group, pause the video and take your time with it. If you like this reading and you're interested in services by me, if you'd like a private reading by me, you can check out my Etsy in the description box below. If you would like to sign up to my Patreon, you can check out that link in the description box below as well. But other than that, I'm going to get started. So we're going to get started with group number 1. I am going to put these away just really quickly. Okay, group number 1, let's get into it. Let's start your reading and see, is it a yes or is it a no? I actually think this is quite a strong yes. This feels like quite a strong yes. Let me think about what else the cards want to say. This feels like something, this is a yes in terms, if you wanted it to be a yes, it's a yes. If you wanted it to be a no, it's a no. That's the way that I would actually put it for this specific reading, for this specific question, because I feel you're getting something that you really want here, but it's not like you want, it's not from the point of view of getting something that you really want. This doesn't feel like a manifestation. This doesn't feel like something you might be trying to manifest this, but it doesn't feel, it feels like a reward. It feels like inspiration. It feels like something that you needed in order to progress and learn more about yourself. So I'm kind of getting that it may not be the exact thing that you're like, if let's say it's something that you want, right? Let's say it's something that you're trying to manifest. It feels like it's not going to be that exact thing, or it won't happen in that exact way. But you're getting something that is more rewarding than what you were hoping for. So there's something that you maybe are thinking is rewarding, or you see as a rewarding option for you. And if you got that option or you got that exact thing, it would be like a disappointment. But I feel like whatever you're wanting is actually directing you to the actual thing that would be rewarding for you. For a lot of you, this feels like some sort of inspiration or something that will inspire you. Like if it's a relationship, like if you're asking, let me have a think. Like I feel like if you're asking about a very specific person, I feel like yes, it's either yes, it's that, you know, you're gonna be with that person, or this person is good for you, but like it's going to be quite different. The relationship is going to be quite different to what you're anticipating, or the nature of the relationship is going to be quite different to what you're anticipating. It's going to be very inspiring, and it's going to teach you a lot. There is a little bit of like, it's a yes, but release all of your expectations. That's the feeling that I'm getting with, and let the inspiration and the passion take over and allow yourself to get rewards. Because something that I'm getting here with this specific group, when you're asking this yes or no question, you may ignore other rewards coming your way, or other great things that are coming to bring you recognition and inspiration, because you're so focused on whatever this thing is. So your guides are kind of saying like, it's a yes. I feel like you're getting whatever you're asking about here, or whatever you're wanting the outcome to be here, you're getting that outcome, but it's not going to look like the way you're imagining it. The essence of it is going to be, I think intuitively you can pick up that it's a yes. You can pick, and that's why you're kind of, there's just something about you knowing the way that this is meant to play out. Like whatever this situation is, you seem to have a really good intuitive sense of how it's meant to play out. But at the same time, your guides are like, you still have to release expectations. You still have to release, there's still a lot to learn, is the way that I would put it, within the situation, even if it is a yes, that yes, this is the outcome that you want. That's the way that I would put this. It's a yes, but you need to release expectation, because if you keep expecting something very specific, you're going to kind of like miss other rewards that are coming your way. You're going to miss other things that are on the way to you that are going to contribute to this yes. And so there's a need to be a lot like more free-spirited when it comes to this situation. And kind of, I wouldn't even say go with the flow. There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of the energy, just like go with the flow. But I feel like there's going to be moments on your journey to this yes where it'll feel like a no, or it'll feel like, oh, all of a sudden this is actually not something that I'm moving towards. Or you may even feel at certain points where there's just this kind of like slight up and down energy, but it's very like, it's a real wavy kind of energy. Because I feel maybe you're already feeling this feeling with the, whatever this is you're asking about. It's like, I want it. Oh, maybe I don't want it. Maybe I do want it. Maybe I want it. Maybe I do want it. And it's kind of like, there's going to be moments where you're going to be super passionate about this and being like, yes, this is something that I really want. And then there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, oh, I'm kind of becoming unsure if I... And it's because it's not because you're not wanting whatever this is all of a sudden. There's just a lot of adjustment that is happening. And you're meant to kind of receive other rewards and other... it's like you're meant to be successful in other things outside of whatever you're asking about here on the side. You will be successful here with whatever this is, but there's other things on the side. Like I'm kind of getting, if this is a career question and you're like, will I do this career, or will this be a career path that I will eventually succeed in? I'm seeing that that's a yes, but you may take a pause with this career path, or you may take, like periodical pauses or periodical rest from this career path in order to achieve and succeed in other things. And apply that to your situation. I'm just kind of picking up, I do pick up mostly on some sort of like career energy here. So I feel like, but it doesn't feel like it's just about career. There's something about inspiration, creativity. There's a little bit about intuition. This feels like a life path. Kind of, it's like, is this my life path? I don't know, because maybe someone who's asked this question is asking, is this what I'm supposed to be doing right now, or something like that, or is this what my life path is supposed to be right now? And your guides are saying, yes, it is, but this life path, the way that you are visualizing it, the way that you're seeing it, the way that you're feeling it, you're having such a limited perspective on it. There's going to be other things on the side that will pop up that you will have to tend to as well and be successful in as well. But the answer is yes. There's a lot of energy of success here that I'm picking up on, but you don't know. It's like there's so much you don't know about this, but not in a kind of like really super secretive way. It's just that you haven't come across certain things that you will want to add on to your life path or onto your path within this, whatever this journey is. You haven't come across certain elements yet that are going to be important in the future. And the thing is, you haven't come across those elements yet because you may be being a little bit limited in your perspective within this. But I don't see it being like a massive problem at the same time. I'm not seeing a massive problem with this. This just feels like something that your guides are saying, you know, just pay attention to where you limit yourself in your perspective, thinking that other details or other elements can't come in and alter this path, whatever this path is. But I feel like you are intuitively very connected to whatever this is, and I feel like you knew this was going to be a yes. Like, it's a really strong energy of you kind of know, you know it's going to be a yes, you know it's a yes, but you want it to be a very definitive yes, as in not definitive yes, like it's definitely a yes, but more from a perspective of this is the type of yes that it is. Whereas it's a yes, but there's so many little details that you're just not aware of yet. Just it's just not, and you're not. It's not. There's no rush to be aware of them either. So just enjoy. There's something about like just enjoying the flow. And also, whenever you start doubting this path, just remember that like that's kind of natural. We're supposed to doubt certain things at certain points, and I feel like maybe that's what makes you feel uncomfortable within this situation. That anytime you doubt this path, it feels like, okay, this is not a path for me. But in reality, your guides are kind of saying you're doubting this path in order to further evaluate what, you know, the direction you're going in. So you're on, it kind of feels like you're on the right track. You're going in the right direction. There will be more doubts. There will be moments that will make you question, like, is this definitely a yes? But it is a yes. And you intuitively know it, and your guides want you to just kind of hold on to that. So that's what I have for you, group number 1. That was your yes or no question or answer. Now let's get into our if you like that, do like, subscribe, and comment. With your feedback, let me know what your question was if you feel like it. Also, if you'd like to tip me, of course it's not expected, but it would be much appreciated if you felt like doing it. You can tip me on PayPal. The PayPal link is down below, or you can tip me under this video. There's a love heart thanks button, and you can tip right on YouTube if you feel like it. But I'm going to move on. So let's move on to group number 2. Let's see, yes or no. Let's get into your reading. Okay, let me think. This does feel like a yes to me, but it feels like in order for this to have longevity, in order for this to reach its full potential is the way that it's a yes. This is a yes, but in order for this to reach its full potential, you're gonna have to put in like good amounts of work and effort, and you're gonna have to be more decisive, and you're gonna have to like exercise your decisiveness and your discernment. This is a yes. It feels like a very sure yes, actually. But it's kind of like it's a yes, but is it going to be a yes that lasts, just a short period of time? Or is it going to be a yes that is going to last forever if you wanted it to, and will will fulfill its full potential? Because you have the potential for it to really go far. You have the potential for this to be like a really big deal. I'm getting whatever this is, this yes, you have the potential to create something very big and something that lasts. I think that's just, especially if this is a relationship. Like, I'm seeing, yes, there's a potential for a relationship that lasts, a relationship that really stands the test of time. But do you feel ready to put in that kind of effort? Because that's what's going to be required. Are you ready to undergo those kinds of transformations? Because I feel like, especially because I'm getting relationship energy very strongly here with this one. Whoever this person is that you're asking about, they're they're gonna, like, I don't want to say trigger you into transformation, because it's like, it sounds kind of traumatic, because I'm not getting that. I feel like there's a lot of like loving energy here, but this person, I'm kind of getting someone who's a catalyst, and you could be the same thing for this person as well. That could be, you know, there could be a mutual energy, but I feel like because we're reading for you, I will look at other aspects as well. I'm just getting relationships very strongly with this group. So I'm just going to focus on that very quickly. Whoever this person is that you're asking about, whether it be a friendship or a relationship, or whatever the nature of your question was, like if you were asking, you know, can I be friends with this person? Then the answer is yes. If you were asking, can I have like a romantic relationship with this person? Then the answer is yes. But the yes is kind of like, the yes is there, but are you ready to do the kind of work and the kind of transformative effort that it would take to take it further and further and further, take it to the next stage of commitment, and the next stage of commitment, and the next stage of commitment. I think this person, whoever they are, if this is a question about a person, they're going to trigger you into transformation, and you will either run away from that transformation, choosing to keep it in the fantasy, or you will welcome that transformation. And that's another thing, like it is a yes. If you're asking kind of like about someone you've been fantasizing about, and you've been having kind of like daydreaming energy about, if you've been doing a little bit of daydreaming or something like that, and you haven't like actually approached this person, and you haven't actually, well, like come forward towards this person, well then it's a no, and you have no plans of like showing that kind of interest, well then it's a no. But if you've been like, if this is someone that you're kind of like been interacting with for a while, and you've maybe, you know, really actively made conversation with this person, you've actively tried with this person, you're not just like watching them, you know, and fantasizing about them. There's an active flow of conversation, like you're actively having conversations with this person, you're actively interacting with this person, then it's a yes to me. Okay, so like outside of the relationship, because that was just the first thing that popped in. If this is something to do with like a creative endeavor or career, or like a path that you want to take, it is a yes. But is it a path that you've been actively trying to engage yourself in? Is it a path that you've been actively trying to connect to, or have you just been fantasizing about taking this path? Have you just been fantasizing? Oh, it's like, oh, it'd be great if I had this career, and like I'm gonna fantasize about like taking this path, and not actually putting tangible effort into it. Well, then that's going to be a no. But I do feel like for the majority of you, this is a yes. You will know if this is only in the fantasy world, and you haven't taken it into any sort of tangible energy, if you haven't put any sort of tangible effort with this situation, then I kind of feel like it can't be a yes, but it can only be a yes once you take it out of the fantasy. But it's too early to say then. Like if it's only been in a fantasy kind of energy, then it's way too early to say. But if you've taken it out of the fantasy, if you've taken into the tangible, and there's been at least some time that you've been applying this tangible effort towards this situation, then it is a yes. And I think that you're gonna have a really great start with whatever this is. I feel like that's a really big point that I'm getting here with this group. It's like, whatever this is, whatever you're asking about, and if you have been putting tangible effort towards this thing, there's going to be a very strong start. But the thing is, the strong start is great, but are you going to, and it's going to be really reassuring, like super reassuring. This strong start is really going to make you feel reassured in your energy. I'm seeing kind of like you feeling revitalized and feeling really, really full of energy, full of emotion, really strong happiness, like almost like I'm kind of getting like, it's like you've been brought back from the dead. Like if we want to be very dramatic with our language, it's like you've been brought back from the dead with that energy, with that Ace of Cups. But the thing is, there will be challenges. There will be challenges. If it's a person, this person is not like, and I'm not saying they're toxic, because I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting, there's like a challenge that comes with this person. There's a challenge that comes with this path, with this career, with this situation. And when you hit that challenge, do you trust yourself to do the transformation that will be required in order to take on this challenge? Oh my God, I'm shaking the camera. Or are you going to say that's too difficult? I can't. Well, then that's going to turn into a no real quick. So that's kind of what I'm getting. So it's a yes, and it's a very strong yes. I feel there's a certain intensity that I'm picking up with the death card being here beside the Ace of Cups, of it being a transformative yes almost. But it's a yes that starts very strong and transforms you in a very strong way. But in terms of longevity and how long you're gonna be able to carry it on for, well, that's up to you then. So it's a yes, but if you were asking a question of like, will I end up with this person or whatever, or will I grow old with this person? Like, that's up to you. Do you have the potential to do that? Is there a very strong start around it? Yes, but the rest is up to you, really. And so the potential is really, really there. But another thing that I'm seeing is that the start is going to be very strong, but then there will be moments in this journey, whatever this journey is, like if this is a career, for example, a career path or some sort of journey, some sort of pathway, where you will have delayed results, where you will have to go through periods where you're kind of hoping for bigger results and you don't get results that are as big as you wanted them. But at the same time, on an overall scale, when I look at this, there's potential to really create something very strong, something that's very lasting, and I would say something that is a little bit, there is a certain energy of it being non-traditional. And you know what? Maybe it's this path is going to really, really challenge your traditions. And maybe if you're asking about like a person, they're not going to go along with your tradition. And I don't mean they're going to disrespect your tradition but they're not just going to go along with like the way that you think is appropriate to do things, for example, because they have their own set of traditions or something, like there's that. Or if it's a path or a career path, this career path may really challenge your traditions, or whatever path this is. Something about your traditions could be really challenged. And your guides are kind of saying like, it's a yes, it's a very strong yes. In fact, it's a very transformative yes, but so much of you is going to be challenged. And it has so much potential. And it feels like it's a good thing that it's going to be challenged, if I'm honest. It's a really good thing that it's going to be challenged. But at the same time, you're going to have to decide if you are up for that. And, like it's going to be, this is this very, very, very strong yes if you want it. But in terms of like how far can you take this is going to be up to you. So I'm going to leave that at that, because I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. So that's the reading that I got for you, group number 2. That was an interesting one, I think, but very strong yes, I have to say, very strong. So group number 2. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. Maybe let me know what question you asked if you feel like it. Of course, no pressure. And if you really like this reading, feel free to tip. It's not expected, but it is appreciated. If you feel like tipping, you can tip in my PayPal link down below in the description box, or you can tip me through YouTube. There's a thanks button. It's like a love heart button at the bottom if you wanted to use that as well. But I'm going to move on. So we're moving on to group number 3. Let's have a look and see, is it a yes or is it a no? Is it a maybe? What is it? We've got the 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, King of Wands in reverse, 9 of Swords in reverse, 8 of Wands in reverse, a yes. It's a yes, but I feel like there's something about you. You need to know that you don't have to actually fight for this. Your perspective kind of needs to change, because right now it's a yes, it's happening. There's a lot that's happening under the surface is what I'm picking up with you. But I'm getting you're kind of tired because of your perspective, because you might think that you have to fight for it, or you have to be in some sort of like warrior fighting energy in order to get this or have this, or whatever outcome. It's a yes, but it's like I almost feel like your guys are saying, by acting like you need to fight for this, or by convincing yourself that you have to act or fight for this, you could actually be delaying the process. You actually don't have to fight for it. It's already happening. It's a yes, but it just feels like a really whispery yes. It feels like yes. Like that's what I'm getting. It's a yes. But it's like you're scaring it away because you're like, I have to fight for this. I have to fight for this. Like there's a real like I have to battle it out in order to have this. And maybe you're not even acting that way anymore, but it's just like there's something very subconscious. Are you losing sleep over this, whatever this is, whatever you're asking about? There's almost this feeling of being restless, not being able to sleep, not being able to think about anything else. Like maybe it's the only thing that you can think about, whatever this thing is. But this is a yes. It's a yes that is like under the surface. It's kind of like a plant that is growing under the surface and it's already there. You just can't see it yet. You've already planted the seeds for this. And it's like every time it's ready to sprout, your energy of like, I need to fight for this plant or whatever. It's like, I need to fight for this. I always get the plant analogy with the Seven of Pentacles. It's like inevitable. It's always that metaphor that comes through for me. But every time you get into that energy of like, I need to fight for this, I need to compete for this, it kind of gets spooked and it doesn't disappear, but it retreats a tiny bit. So there's a need to just like see the way he's just standing there and like he's got his staff and he's just like looking over the pentacles. You know what's funny? This is making me think of the Ace of Wands now. The fact that he's standing over the stick is here, because I'm like, that's like a wand as well. So Seven of Pentacles has a wand in it. Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. It's like, be inspired knowing that it's growing underneath the surface. How can you become inspired? Find inspiration in the fact that you can't see it yet, but you can feel it. Because I feel like you can feel it. You know that the progress is coming, but you are spooking that progress in some sort of way by, there's like a combative, like kind of, you are a very warrior type of energy, I feel, or like there's kind of like a fighter energy in you, and that's a great energy to have. You're very, it's just not being directed in the right way, it feels like, when it comes to this specific situation you're asking about. It's a yes. It's coming either way. I feel like that's what the cards are kind of alluding to here. Whatever this is, it's coming either way. You know, whether it comes today, whether it comes in a month, whether it comes in a year, it's coming. Or it's happening, whatever this is. But it will come quicker if you can slow down. And especially if you're like in the mindset that you are competing in some sort of way, because you're not competing. It's like if you plant a plant, you're not competing for that plant to sprout. You don't have to fight other people in terms of like, I don't know, to make that plant come through. You've done the work. So I kind of feel like the competitiveness, because I think your competitiveness is actually very helpful to you in many arenas of your life, and many like aspects of your life. But with this particular thing, whatever you're looking at here, whatever you're asking about here, that competitiveness is kind of hindering you a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not seeing, again, it's not eliminating it. It's not destroying anything. It's just this energy of spooking something. It's like just slightly spooked. So if you wanted to come to you, you know the way, like if there was let's say if there was like a nervous animal around you, right? And you wanted them to come to you. If you were like fighting other people and competing other people to get to that animal would not warm to you. That animal would feel scared. They would get themselves into a corner and they would not want to interact with you because you and other people are fighting over having this animal or whatever. The way to get an animal, like a nervous animal, to trust you is to sit in the corner yourself and allow the animal to come to you. And I am kind of getting this, if it is a manifestation, this manifestation kind of right now feels like a bit of a nervous little animal. That you need to just like sit back and let this nervous little animal come to you, sniff around you, and then it'll land right in your hand. You know, it'll be eating out of the palm of your hand. But it's kind of like it's a yes, and it is there, and it is coming, but you are kind of delaying it a little bit. And it's just the sense of like competitiveness or competition, like seeing this particular situation as competition or as something that you need to fight for or fight about. I don't know. I don't know what else to say with this group because I think that's kind of it. There's just a bit, it's kind of like the energy of whatever you're trying to bring in is very mellow and steady. And your energy right now is kind of like, I must compete. I must fight, my opponents. And it's, do you have imaginary opponents in this situation? That's another question that could be good to ask yourself. Like, are you imagining certain opposition that actually doesn't exist? Maybe that's not true. Maybe you actually do have opposition. But again, it's like, if you can reduce the feeling of like the need to compete, if you can reduce the feeling of I must fight for this, this will actually come in way quicker for you. But it is a yes. So that's the way that I would put this. So that's what I have for you, group number 3. So that's your yes or no. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. And if you feel like tipping me, it's not expected, but appreciated. If you want to, you can check out my PayPal. My PayPal is down below in the description box. And you can also tip me with a thanks button at the bottom of this video, if you feel like it. But we're going to move forward. So let's get into the reading. For group number 4, we're going to look at your question, yes or no. Let's see, what is it? Got King of Swords in reverse. This feels like a no. And it's a no because, you know what? Whatever this is you're asking about, I don't know what it is that you're asking about, of course, but it kind of feels like it would make you stuck. Like if you got this outcome, or if this was a yes, you would be stuck. So there's actually, I'm just kind of getting, this option is actually not that great for you. And I don't want to dismiss whatever it is your desires are, what you're hoping for, but there's something, maybe you're picking this because your brain is telling you to pick this. There is a little bit of a feeling like you're going with your brain, but your heart wants something completely different. And you know it. And you know that going with your brain, whatever this is, it's kind of like, this is going to make you feel stuck. It's going to make you feel stuck. It is a no, but it feels like it's a no. It kind of feels like something that you're asking about that is, there's a part of you hopes that it's a no, I think. Like, it's not a very loud part of you. It's not a part of you that is very prominent, but it's an important part of you. If this has something to do with career or like money, maybe you're like, will I get this job? And the feeling is very like, no, but it's because if you did get this job, you would kind of get stuck. You would get the money that you wanted, but you would kind of hate it. Like, you would hate having that money even. Even though you'd have money, you'd kind of not enjoy having it. If that's the situation, it might be something else, but because I can't help but see the way he has all this money, and his floor is money as well, right? And there's something very organized to the pattern of the way that the money is here, and he's flipping the coin and everything. But then we've got this hanged man, and he's just throwing money out of his pockets. He doesn't care. He's throwing money into like whatever. There's a body of water there, so he's throwing away the money. He's throwing away his phone. He doesn't care. So there's a sense of, if this was a yes, you would have come to a point where you would have just like thrown it all away and started from scratch anyway, but it would have taken you a very long time. It kind of feels like the universe is saving you some time by this being a no. In a way, that's what I'm picking up on. It's like the universe is like, let's save some time, because if you went into this job or this career path, you would have gotten so fed up with it. You would have felt so stuck in there. You would have felt so uncomfortable, and just I'm getting a really strong sense of just discomfort and not liking it. That even though you got what you wanted, in the end, it didn't make you happy. It didn't give you what, the emotions that you were hoping to experience. And you would have gone with your heart anyway. And that's where the King of Cups is. With the Hanged Man being here, it's kind of like you would have gone and done something that is more resonant with your heart. And so the reason that you're not getting this is because you can do that now. But it kind of feels like it's almost a favor to you that it's not a yes. And I feel like for a lot of you who are watching this group, for the most part, I think you were hoping it's a yes, but I think there's a tiny part of you that's hoping it's a no. It's like a part of you will be relieved. Part of you will feel a sense of relief that it's a no. If this is about like a relationship, again, it's like for a lot of you, whatever relationship you're asking about, of course, use your own intuition and discernment in this, but it's like, again, similar situation. Maybe you're picking and choosing this relationship because of your brain, and logically, it's like logically this makes sense. But yeah, I just don't think whatever this path, whatever this situation, like, I don't know what this is exactly for you, but it feels like you're picking like brain over heart, which is, head over heart, but there's nothing wrong with that. But in this instance, it is. In this instance, it's really important that you go with your heart. But But it's a no. Yeah, it's a no because the universe wants you to save time. It kind of feels like it would be a waste of time for you when it comes to the grander scheme of things, the greater path that you're supposed to be on, the big picture of what you're supposed to do in this lifetime. This would be a waste. Waste is really coming through. It's kind of like the universe is sparing you some waste by making this a no. And it may not feel that way right now, and maybe it's even frustrating to see that it's a no right now. But in the long run, from a greater picture, you'll understand, or you'll see, you'll understand why it was a no. Because one thing that I will say, you could force this into a yes if you wanted to, but the universe is like, why would you want to? Why would you want to? If you really wanted to, you could force this into a yes, but that would be even more like miserable in a sense. And I think you're not going to want to force it into a yes, because forcing it into a yes would be just kind of defeating or something like that. Like, it's a no. It's a no. But like, it's actually a good thing that it's a no. It's saving you so much time. It's helping you go with your heart a little bit more than your head. I kind of feel maybe you're someone who has done things from a very logical perspective for a very long time. Maybe you've always gone with your head over your heart. And I feel like maybe you're just going to a period of time. You're in a very interesting place where your head and your heart are kind of like battling it out right now. Because your head is so used to being the one in charge, and the heart is all of a sudden starting to be more in charge and gaining more power. And I feel like you're coming into a place where, yeah, your heart is going to really lead the way for the next while. Like, I don't know why I'm getting for the next year. So for a lot of you, for the next year, you might make a lot of heart-based decisions. And I think it's kind of starting with this situation being a no. So that's what I have for you. I hope this reading helped. I hope this reading resonated. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. Maybe like what question you asked, if you feel like it. Of course, not, you don't have to. But if you like this reading, and also if you want to tip me, you can tip me in my PayPal. The link is in the description box below, or you can tip me with the thanks button at the bottom of this video. Of course, it's not expected, but it's always appreciated. But I'm going to move forward. So let's go. We're moving on to group number 5 for your yes or no question. Let's get into it. So yes or no for group number 5. Let's see. Let me look over the cards real quick. Yeah, this one is a lot more vague. I feel like it's a maybe. This is more of a maybe. Yeah, there's a really strong maybe energy with this one, actually. Maybe. Let me see, maybe. Whatever this situation is, I don't know what you're asking about, but it could be a maybe because it's just like not a lot of this has solidified in the physical reality yet. So whatever you're asking about could be, maybe you're asking about something that you're like fantasizing about, and there's not a lot of tangible energy around this situation. You may need some guidance or someone to teach you something in order for this to be a yes as well. You may need to have a connection to like a better community in order for and it's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting is a lot of hypotheticals are happening within this group is what I'm feeling. It's like, hypothetically, if you had this and if you had this would be a yes. Hypothetically, if you went out and did this and this did this, it would be a yes. But hypothetically, if this happened and this happened, it would be a no. So this feels like a maybe. Are you sure you even want it, or is it just something that you're fantasizing about and right now it's like the fantasy that you're going with as well? Maybe you were just curious and you just clicked into this video. You don't have high stakes in this or anything. I'm also kind of picking up on it just kind of feels like, oh, it's fun to fantasize about, but when the reality hits of what the situation is actually, like you may realize that it's not actually, that it's actually not that fun. This definitely feels like a maybe because it just feels very vague. But you may have very vague energy towards this as well yourself. So you may feel like, I don't even really know if I want this, to be honest. Like, I'm just asking the question because I was doing it for fun. There could be elements about the situation that you're not being honest about with yourself as well, that you're kind of like, if you are hoping for this to be a yes, is there certain elements of this situation that you're choosing to ignore, maybe putting like rose-colored glasses on a little bit? But I think if you have a very strong community around you and you know that you do when it comes to this situation, then you actually could, like, it could be a yes. I think there's potential for this to be a yes, but it's not like, again, it doesn't feel like super strong potential because it just feels like it's not very tangible. Whatever you're asking about, it feels like it's not really easy to grasp because it's almost like whatever this is you're asking about, it doesn't exist yet. Like, that's the way that I would almost... It's kind of like if someone was like, could I own a unicorn? And it's like, well, hypothetically, if unicorns existed or like were, existent in our reality, you could have a unicorn, but, because the unicorn doesn't even exist, it might even be that I don't know, maybe you built up a person in your head and you're like, could I have a relationship with this person? And your guides are kind of like, you could hypothetically have a relationship with this person, but this person is not who you've dreamt them up to be in your mind. Like, and it doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean that they're like, there's something negative about them, but they're not the person that you are envisioning. It kind of feels like whatever you're envisioning, that actually doesn't exist. That's the way that I would put this. And so it's a maybe because, yes, you could technically come to the outcome or have whatever this is, or but it's kind of like it doesn't exist the way that you think it exists. Sorry, I need to take a sip of water. Or it doesn't work the way that you think it works. But it feels like there's maybe a community, a certain sorry, my voice is kind of going right now. I wonder why that is. That's very strange. My voice. Oh, wow. I didn't feel this in any of the other groups as well, so maybe there is something to do with self-expression. I am getting a little bit of like, you need to ask around. I was getting that slightly, like maybe you need to ask around about whatever this is in order to even figure out if you actually want it or not. It's like you might need more information, you might need to learn more, but this one is very vague. I'm just getting such a straight up maybe. Like it's kind of like maybe because it's almost, I don't know, maybe you clicked on this reading as well and you didn't have a fully formed question or something like that. That's almost what, like, what are you even asking is what is the feeling that I'm getting. And I'm sorry, I'm not being like, I don't mean to be, but there's that kind of energy with this group. It's like, what are you even asking though? What is the exact question? So maybe for this group, I would almost, it's so funny because I feel like for this group, your guy, you know, the way when you do the magic 8 ball and you know, it's a yes or no, never, definitely, or it's like ask again. Your guides are almost like ask again, because what is your question exactly? Form a very specific question, because it's like the question that you formed here, like, wasn't, there's some sort of vagueness to do with your question. It's not even just about the answer. The answer is coming out vague, but there's a vagueness around what you asked. Maybe you're aware that even your question has some sort of vague energy to it. Yeah, this one is interesting. It's quite, because there's elements of like, this could be a yes, but at the same time, like, what you're asking about doesn't exist in tangible reality, or it's not really the way that you're perceiving it. And also your question might be kind of vague or something, or maybe you didn't have a very specific question. Maybe you just clicked on the reading, you just decided to go for this group. It's just kind of like, you'll have to get more clear on your question. And it's not just about like the wording of the question, but also the elements of what is involved in you asking this question. What is actually involved in you asking this question? What's making you ask this question? What are you hoping the outcome will be? Maybe you're not sure what you want the outcome to be. Maybe you clicked on this, is it a yes or a no, but you're not sure if you want it to be a yes or a no. And so it's a maybe, because your guides are kind of like, well, we're not really sure if you want it to be a yes or a no, so we're not able to answer, because your energy is vague in some sort of way. And that's not a bad thing in regards to whatever this is you're asking. Your energy is vague. So it's kind of like, before you're going to figure out if this is going to be a yes or a no, you're going to have to get set on, what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be a yes or a no? That's almost the feeling that I'm getting. That's very interesting. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 5. That's your answer. It's more of a maybe, but yeah, there's just a vagueness here that I'm picking up on. So that's what I have for you, group number 5. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. Let me know if you feel like it. You can also tip me on my PayPal link, which is in the description box below, or the love heart thanks button at the bottom of this video. Of course, it's not expected, but it is always appreciated. But I'm going to move forward. So I'm moving on to the last group 6. Let's see, is it a yes or is it a no? Let's get into it. Okay, I feel like it's a pretty strong yes. Actually, yeah, it's a pretty strong yes. It's a pretty strong yes, but I do feel, let me just look at these cards a little bit, because I'm getting, it's a strong yes. It's not like a weak yes, it's a strong yes, but it's there's something to it that is kind of like let me have a think about this. I feel like maybe there are people who tell you that it shouldn't be a yes. Like, I'm kind of getting, I don't know if you have people around you, friends, maybe even people in authority. It kind of feels like for some of you, maybe people in authority tried to convince you that this is not something that you would ever achieve or get or experience, when in reality, it is something that you were always meant to experience. There's that kind of energy to it. If this is like about something bigger, if it's about something smaller, I I do feel it's a yes. And I feel like this yes is actually going to be really good for your inner child as well. There's something very therapeutic happening with your inner child. Your inner child will really benefit from this yes, if that makes sense. I just feel like there might be people that, like, when you get this thing or you receive it or this thing happens for you or whatever this yes is, I kind of feel like there will be people who may try to discourage you from it. And it's because they are going by certain teachings that you have rejected, or certain, like, sets of morals or teachings or understandings that you have decided to reject. But there will be people who will try to talk you out of this, but it's only because they're going by the morals or the teachings that you already know you're not going to be going by and you're not interested in going by. I don't think you'll let them make you doubt this. I don't think, because I feel like this is something you're quite passionate about. This is something you're either quite passionate about already or you're going to be quite passionate about. Um, And it's something that reminds you, it's almost something that has a nostalgic kind of feeling to it. There's a lot of nostalgia to it, but at the same time, it's very progressive and very different. But it is a yes. And you're going to have a lot of fun with this. It's going to be very exciting. Inspiring. Like, I'm getting a lot of inspiration coming in with this yes. Like, you'll be inspired to get a lot done. You'll be inspired to really look into a lot of different avenues for yourself. Like, I'm seeing really good things, but I just feel like some people might think that you're betraying something by, like, it's not even about is it a yes. You get to decide if it's a yes, and I think you're going to decide that it's a yes. It's not about whether it's a yes, like the universe is going to grant it as a yes. It's like you are getting to decide whether this is a yes or not. And it really feels like, it may feel like you're betraying an old way of living or an old way of existing, but it's kind of like you know that you want to betray it. You want to betray this old way of existence, these teachings or something like that, just because you knew they limited you, and they actually limited your creativity and inspiration and took something from you rather than added to your energy. But there's a really lovely connection here to your inner child. It kind of feels like you're letting your inner child be in control when it comes to this. You're letting your inner child decide when it comes to this. But for the most part, I feel like whoever picked this group, you are going to make this a yes. It's not even a question, is this a yes or a no? It's like you already know it's a yes. It is almost the way that I would put it. Um There's a lot of yeses today for the groups, actually, which I thought was interesting. Different types of yeses, though, with different types of nuances. But with you, it's like, it feels very definitive to me. It just feels like you will have to betray certain teachings or certain, maybe, like outdated belief systems, maybe even. Just things that don't resonate anymore. Yeah, there's a strong energy of you leaving behind things that don't, and maybe you're kind of in the process of it. Like, how far along are you in terms of leaving things that don't resonate anymore? And there's no rush because I think you're on the right track, but your guides are just kind of saying it is it is up to you if this is a yes or a no, and it is a yes. So, nobody can really make this a no for you. No other external source or force or external aspect can make this a no. And I can see you're very optimistic about this, actually. I feel like you came to this reading about this specific topic with a lot of optimism. So, yeah, I feel like this is a yes for you. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 6. I don't really see anything else. It just feels quite definitive to me, so I'm just going to leave that here. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment, especially with your feedback. And if you'd like to tip me, it's not expected, but it's always appreciated. You can tip me on my PayPal link below. It's in the description box, and you can also tip me with the thanks button at the bottom of this video if you feel like it, if you want. But I'm going to leave the reading here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.